Hey guys, welcome back to the 4th episode of the San Diego Scoop. I've got some awesome stuff for you guys this week. From North County schools that totally crushed some big national rankings to billion-dollar projects and some local news in Carlsbad that you'll care about if you're a parent. Oh, and of course the usual housing price update, and this week we've got some pretty surprising stuff, so let's get into it. So this first story is honestly pretty awesome, especially if you've got kids here. The US News and World Report just dropped their 2025-2026 best high school rankings, and North County San Diego schools totally crushed the California list. Canyon Crest Academy landed at number 18 in the entire state. Del Norte came in at number 45, Westview High at 52, Sage Creek and Carlsbad at number 93, Torrey Pines at 115, and Scripps Ranch at 132. And here's the kicker, out of 24,000 high schools across the country, San Diego had 10 schools make the top 1,000, and half of those are right here in North County, San Diego. These schools are clearly preparing students for college and career success, with grads getting into some of the best universities in the country. Now, from a real estate point of view, this matters a ton. School rankings and property values go hand in hand, and North County was already pricey. Now you've got official proof these districts are top tier, and that drives even more demand from parents willing to pay a premium to live here. But speaking of big projects that can change entire neighborhoods, let's talk about this multi-billion-dollar development that's about to completely transform the Midway District. But before we get into all that, here's the thing. If you're still watching, you're clearly into how local changes impact your property value and investment choices. And that's exactly what we talk about each and every week here on the San Diego Scoop. So whether it's school rankings, raising your home equity, or market shifts that open up buying chances, I break down the stories that actually affect your net worth. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So this one could totally change one of San Diego's most underused spots. The city of San Diego is moving ahead with something called Midway Rising, a huge 48-acre project that's going to replace the old Pachango Arena with a brand new 16,000 seat stadium. But that is just the start of it. They're planning 2,000 affordable apartments, 2,250 regular apartments, 130,000 square feet of shops and restaurants, and almost 15 acres of parks and open space. And the team running this includes Chelsea Investment Corporation, a sports venue developer Legend, and housing developer Zephyr, all backed by the Kroenke Group. And these are not small players by any means. Chelsea alone has done projects worth more than $3 billion. Zephyr CEO Brad Termini said the Pachango Arena is basically too old and outdated to attract top concerts. The loading dock, lighting, and sound systems just can't handle modern tours. The city's economic development director thinks this project could bring the same kind of money impact as the 3 biggest events at the convention center every single year, including Comic-Con. And speaking of huge projects, in a bit, I'll tell you how the federal government just pulled more money from the high-speed rail project. So stick around. But here's where I'm not so sure. The community is really pushing back on traffic, and honestly, I think they've got a good point. Rosecrans Street is already jammed during the rush hour, and pretty much any time of day, really. I've shown homes in that area, and it takes 25 minutes just to get from Rosecrans to the freeway. Now imagine adding a 16,000 seat stadium plus thousands of new apartments. And their planned fix? One shuttle bus, just one, and giving workers public transit passes. The Peninsula Community Planning Board called it a slap in the face, and I tend to agree on this one. But from an investment angle, if they actually solve the traffic problem, this could be huge for Midway property values. But if they don't, it's going to be a shiny new project surrounded by gridlock. The city council takes it up this fall, and we'll see if they deal with these issues or just try to push it through. Now, speaking of community concerns, there's a safety problem popping up in Carlsbad that every parent needs to hear about, and honestly, this isn't just Carlsbad, it's all of San Diego. Now, this one really hits home for me as a parent, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. Carlsbad is considering setting a minimum age of 12 for electric bike riders, and honestly, it's about time someone addressed this issue. A new pilot program lets cities across San Diego County ban kids under 12 from riding Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes, the ones that can hit 20 miles per hour with pedal assist or throttle. Coronado was the first city to step up. Chula Vista went even farther, requiring helmets for anyone under the age of 18 and banning kids from carrying passengers. Carlsbad resident Jorge Yarita put it bluntly, the kids don't understand that when you are on the street, you're actually in a vehicle. We've seen some big tragic accidents and something needs to change. And here's some real talk for a second. I've got a 12-year-old begging me for one of these e-bikes, and some models can reach 40 or even 50 miles per hour. At that speed, it's not a bike anymore. It's basically a motorcycle with no training requirement. Is this kind of rule likely to dramatically affect property values? Probably not in a big way. But here's what I do believe. Neighborhoods that feel safer, especially for families, are more desirable. And desire translates to demand. So if Carlsbad takes the lead, it could make the area more appealing for young families, and I'm really hoping other cities catch on and follow suit. They're holding a traffic, safety, and mobility meeting later this month to hear from the community, and I'm really hoping parents show up and share what matters to them. But if you think local concerns are heated, wait till we dive into the federal transportation drama that's shaking things up across California. This story is all about transportation and some politics, and it's a big one for development across the state. California's high-speed rail just hit another funding setback. Critics, including some federal officials, have called this project a boondoggle that's billions over budget and years behind schedule. They argue it's money that could be better spent fixing freeways or improving local transit. On the flip side, Governor Gavin Newsom has defended the project as essential, saying it's about connecting the economy of the North and South and cutting down on carbon emissions. Supporters also point out that without big investments like this, California risks falling falling further behind other countries in modern rail travel. The original vision was ambitious, a line from San Francisco to Los Angeles, with further plans to expand to Sacramento and San Diego. Now, if it ever does get built, it could make traveling between major cities much easier and even boost property values along the route. But here's the catch: while high-speed rail might help you get from LA to San Francisco in under 3 hours, it doesn't really solve our daily traffic headaches in San Diego. Sitting on the 15 or the 5 at rush hour isn't going away because of a train hundreds of miles north. Meanwhile, one rail project is actually moving forward: the LA to Vegas high-speed train. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg praised it as a model for the kind of rail projects America should be building. Construction is underway, and within a few years, people could be making that trip in just over 2 hours. The only downside: there's no direct connection planned from San Diego to Las Vegas, so we're still stuck driving or flying if we want a weekend getaway. And speaking of things that do affect our daily lives here in San Diego, the newest housing market numbers just came out, and they might surprise you. Okay, so these new numbers are actually pretty good news for buyers. San Diego's home prices dropped 0.61% compared to last year, and that's the first time we've seen a year-over-year drop in nearly 2 years. The last time this happened was back in June of 2023. San Diego actually ranked number 17 out of the 20 cities in the Case-Shiller Index, which is our lowest spot since March of 2023. The median home price here is still at $1 million, but the market is starting to shift a little bit. The chief economist at Bright MLS said sales were slow in June even with lower mortgage rates and more homes hitting the market. Inventory is climbing because homes are taking longer to sell, which gives buyers more room to negotiate. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.5% in late July, down from over 7% earlier this year, and right now I've seen rates right around 6%, and next month the Fed actually might cut rates again. Now, I know this might sound strange coming from a realtor, but buyers really needed this breather. For the past 5 years or so, it's been pure chaos with people paying pretty much anything just to get a house. Now, 0.6% price drop isn't huge, but it's the first real sign that the market might be getting back to normal. And for sellers, this is a wake-up call. You can't just throw a high number on your house and expect 10 offers. You've got to price it right from day one and be realistic. For buyers, this could be perfect timing too. More homes to choose from, rates that might dip lower, and you're not competing with 15 other offers. But if rates fall below 6% and hold there, competition could heat up quickly. And the luxury market over $2 million is still pretty strong, which shows there's serious money waiting for the right conditions. But bottom line, this isn't a crash, but the market is definitely balancing out, and buyers finally have some power again. Alright, so that's a wrap on another San Diego Scoop episode. What's your guys' take on North County schools crushing those rankings? Do you think the Midway project will really fix its traffic mess? And that e-bike situation in Carlsbad, are you seeing the same thing in your neighborhood? I'd love to hear what's going on where you are, so drop a comment below. And if you're thinking about making a move in this shifting market, or you just want to talk about these changes and how they might affect you, send me a message at burn@off56.com. With everything happening across the county, there are definitely opportunities if you know where to look. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on everything in San Diego that actually affects your life and your property values. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next Scoop.